And welcome to Rauta Reviews. Today's band comes from Germany, so Achtung! Now we're talking about some melodic black metal. Let's welcome Antlers. What a weird name for a black metal band. Now, this is not a typical black metal album based on what we see here on this threefold digipack. In a way, very nice, very unique cover with kind of a, I don't know, frost or ice and fire, and then some snakes and serpents, and yet again something totally different on the other side. As you can see, this is a threefold, a digipack with creative artwork. Looks very nice in a way, and being a fan of digipacks, I think these kind of albums just are nice to look at, whether they are on your collection or beside your CD or vinyl player. Well, vinyls of course don't have digipacks, but vinyl would be nice looking with this album too. So here we have this booklet, which also looks nice. Not glossy paper, but more like cardboard type of feeling here. Very kind of a down-to-earth feeling. You can almost just smell the paper here, because it smells like, well, what printing does, but then again it kind of has this groundy feeling, like something that has been forgotten in the cellar, maybe taking some moist and whatnot. Okay, that's about the covers and all that stuff. So music-wise, Antlers is all about melodic, kind of atmospheric black metal, or, well, in theory, that's what this album is all about. Now, more than 50 minutes long, this album has quite a bit of minor flaws here and there, which kind of ruins it for me. By ruining, I don't mean a bad album, but this is hardly more than mediocre one, despite all the good ideas, nice parts and whatnot on the album. Now, this album starts with a lengthy track, more than 11 minutes, and that is something kind of too overwhelming. Not by quality, but the sheer amount of, stuff coming your way in a fast-paced, but very kind of a mediocre melodic riffs. Usually bands try to start their albums with some really strong one. I mean, strong song that just takes you with the trip, and then you're just kind of hooked before you kind of figure it out. But this one is kind of having as the first track something that is very, very easy to forget, except that it's very lengthy and very boring in a way. I mean, it starts like really aggressively, well, kind of a passive aggressive way. I mean, it's not like very in your face violent type of beating, but just fast tempo, but then again expecting something to basically happen. And it's like one of those post-rock, post-metal songs which kind of start building up and never reach the climax. And that is what happens with the first track. It basically goes nowhere. It's like this dead-end road that just like abruptly ends in a forest. But instead, taking to a beautiful forest or anything, this just, is like a, I don't know, street to a place where buildings are about to be built, but nothing there is yet. So kind of a letdown in a way. Later on, when we move on with this album, there are some more atmospheric parts and more kind of a mid or slow tempo parts. And then when the album kind of starts to, live. And the funny thing is, and kind of ironic as well, is that while this album has really nice atmospheric parts, those are all instrumental and they are not mostly metal. So in essence, having a atmospheric black metal, with lots of melodic riffs and all that stuff, it's kind of ironic that the best parts are not metal at all. They are just beautiful instrumental pieces. And the metal is like, I don't care about anymore after, listening to these kind of a nice interludes or whatever they should be called. Now, when the band actually starts, doing its blast beat parts and the very lengthy compositions, it makes me think that maybe these guys actually didn't think it through. There are a couple of major flaws with this kind of approach on this album. The first one is the production. The drums are a little bit too loud compared to other instruments, and that usually means that when the drums are going like brrr, the gears is like, oh, okay, yeah, there's something happening in the background. I mean, of course, you can figure it out and, just really focusing on the riffs. But it's kind of a troublesome. I mean, it doesn't really do justice to those riffs and anything on the album. And the other thing is that it seems like this band is trying to cover it up with just blast beating, because I mean these kind of riffs would basically be more powerful, more impactful, and just I don't know, better if it wasn't done with this kind of a fast tempo stuff, because it's not exactly building the atmosphere there. It's just like, let's go aggressive, but we don't have aggressive riffs. Oh no, what am I gonna do? I don't know. Play fast, Sam. And it's gonna get really, really mediocre, kind of a boring. It almost annoys me. But the truth is, it's just dull. It's not even annoying. It's just like, okay, whatever. Can we just skip this track? So when the band actually manages to slow down and have some more beautiful melodies and kind of have a more time to doing with those riffs, then it actually manages to sound kind of like what is supposed to be atmospheric black metal. And if only the band had more of these and a little bit less lengthy tracks, I guess this would be quite a bit of better album. I mean, at least score-wise, if I was to give a score here. But now it seems like the band has ideas which they are unable to execute. Sound-wise, I mean, production, gears, drums, all that. It's like, yeah, manageable, doable, not great. Same goes for the vocals, which are somewhere between raspy and growling. I mean, they're kind of like this black metal raspiness, and then you add some 50% of growling, and there you go somewhere midpoint. I'm not saying it sucks, but it definitely ain't really good. Something like, yet again, very mediocre, very average stuff. So all in all, while this album has nice ideas, it also has these very common ideas which are not gonna make an impact. Not me anyway. So a mediocre plus, would I say. Maybe, just maybe, after a couple of albums, this band is ready to kick some ass. But for now, Antlers is something I am not too excited about. Maybe you are, so go to check their samples online on the Bandcamp page or whatever, and who knows, maybe there will be something special for you. At least it's not a typical album when it comes to covers and all that stuff. See you soon with more Rauta reviews. Now it's time to say bye bye.